What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 103 and season 4, episode 1 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stony back for the 103rd time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow hustlers, scumbags, lowlifes, hoodlums, cheats, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics with abusive language, fienders, anybody named Phil Mickelson, friends and family of the Gooch, and degenerates. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into one or more of those categories, so welcome. And make sure to hit the subscribe button right down in the lower right-hand corner so that way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word, it's very easy. Just tell other scumbags to go to YouTube and enter STONIE'S winners. That's not STONEY, but it's STONIES, winners. Just like it says in the bottom left down here right next to my picture. That'll take you directly to my page. Now, before we get to the picks, I have some thoughts. Let's start with my brother and your boy, Chris Apostolopoulos, better known as The Gooch. He passed back in June, and I will forever dedicate my Stonicasts to him going forward. He meant everything to me, and it's hard to even live life without him, knowing that he's not going to text me and call me and bother me, but I'm going to miss him. So, Gooch, I know you're looking down, brother. I love you, and I miss you. Anyway, welcome to the start of the 23-24 season. And for the most part, I'll be delivering a video every week, sometimes multiple shots during given weeks as we navigate our way through NCAA football, the NFL, MLB playoffs, and college basketball, with the final Stoniecast this season being at the end of March Madness in the NCAA National Championships of Hoops. Now, I'm going to start off with my usual disclaimer that I do every year on episode 1 of a new season. And I'm going to say that if you're using this to make money and your funds are already running low, I'm going to tell you to stop right now, go out and get a job. If you're using this for tips and pointers to supplement your gambling problem, then this is the place for you. My advice is to do your own research and compare them to mine. If we agree, that's the time to get down and to fire away. I'll give you my picks for every single NFL game this season, lots of MLB playoff matchups in October, and selected NCAA football and hoops matchups. 2 years ago, I hit a career high at 61% in the NFL, but I dipped to 55% last year. Keep in mind that anything above 52.36 is a winning week. College football and college hoops are where we really stepped it up with 62.4% combined. Last season, I gave you over 1,400 picks. I hit at a 59.6% overall. And don't forget that all these picks are free. Other touts will offer you picks for money, and they all claim to hit over 70%, which is statistically impossible. Cannot happen, would never happen. After every week, I'll give you a rundown of my numbers from the previous week, so all these picks are 100% documented as we shoot for another 60% season. Finishing last season on a run of 19 consecutive winning weeks gives us some serious pep in our step as we look forward to the new season. With the NFL not beginning for another couple weeks, we start off this season with the infamous Week 0 of college football going off this weekend. With the drama that unfolds in the offseason with schools moving conferences, NIL deals, and the transfer portal, college football is getting tougher to get off to a solid start until we can figure out exactly who's playing on each team. But here we go with Week 0, which I refuse to acknowledge in my Stoniecast. So this is definitely week 1 for us. Y'all ready? As I'm watching Pittsburgh and Atlanta on the NFL Network. Don't mind the messages in the back. Somebody's blowing me up. All right. With the here we go. Y'all ready? We'll start off on Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time in Dublin, Ireland at Aviva Stadium as Navy and Notre Dame renew their rivalry to make up a game that was supposed to be played back in 2020, but it was canceled by the COVID pandemic. That cancellation interrupted the sport's longest intersectional rivalry that dated back to 1927. The 13th ranked Irish come in as 20.5-point favorites over Navy, who will have new head coach Brian Newberry taking over for the Academy's winningest coach, Ken Niumatalolo, who was fired back in December. Newberry will continue the bread and butter triple option of on the offense for the Middies as they hope to repeat last year's near upset of Notre Dame, where the Irish hung on for a tough 35-32 win in November. The Irish have benefited greatly from the transfer portal because of the Golden Dome. And this season's cruise, it all starts with super quarterback and Heisman hopeful Sam Hartman. The Wake Forest transfer threw for nearly 8,000 yards and 77 touchdowns in his last two seasons in Winston-Salem. For second-year Irish head coach Marcus Freeman to lean on Hartman and let him air it out to try and avoid a repeat of last season's 0-2 start and a still puzzling loss to Stanford. Navy's always tough, but are clearly outgunned here. Look for a big afternoon from Hartman as the Irish win easily and cover the big number. At 7 o'clock Eastern Time. From now on, just all times are Eastern Time, okay? So all my left coasters, you got to deal with it and make the time adjustment. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces. New Mexico State and Massachusetts meet for the third straight year, and the Aggies installed as a 6.5-point home chalk. New Mexico State won the last two meetings easily. Former Minnesota head coach Jerry Kill begins his second year in Las Cruces after guiding the Aggies to a 7-6 record last year and a win in the Quick Lane Bowl over Bowling Green. Expectations are even higher this year. UMass head coach Don Brown also starts his second season for the Minutemen, and he's got his hands full. Following a 1-11 season, 2-22 over the last two seasons, and a 24-game road losing streak. This will be New Mexico State's first ESPN nationally televised home game since 2007. After finishing 30th in total defense last year and returning starting quarterback Diego Pavia to go along with Texas A&M transfer Eli Stowers, the Aggies have a good chance to start 2-0 with FCS Western Carolina on deck next week. Don Brown's going with former four-star recruit Tyson Fomachan as his signal caller after Fomachan spent 3 years at Clemson and last year at Georgia Tech. I tell you, that transfer portal's something. Normally, I'd be all over New Mexico State in this matchup, but I saw the spread drop from 8 points to 6.5 just yesterday as the Sharps are starting to fire away on the Minutemen. That gives me a moment of pause. While I won't fire on them, I will touch them, though, because I always roll with the Sharps over the public. While I don't see the Minutemen winning, I do see them possibly slipping in through the back door to get the cover. Give me UMass plus 6.5. Also at 7 Eastern on Saturday, Ohio travels west to take on San Diego State in a very good matchup at Snapdragon Stadium, and the Aztecs are a short 2.5-point favorite. After a 2-year hiatus from postseason action, Ohio took out Wyoming in the Arizona Bowl last December to put the finishing touches on a 10-4 campaign. 6'5" quarterback Curtis Rourke, a.k.a. the Maple Missile from Vancouver, returns as the Bobcats starter after a torn ACL in the MAC title game last season, and he's got Sia Bangura back as his feature back and the now junior Sam Weigluss as his wide receiver. While Ohio's defense was inconsistent last year, Rourke can move the ball, and he's going to have to against the San Diego State defense. Fourth-year head coach Brady Hoke, yes, that Brady Hoke, is in his second go-around with the Aztecs. He's built a swarming defense in SDSU, and even with the transfer and a few graduations, expect more excellence out of this unit. Offensively, SDSU has struggled, and now with a new offensive coordinator and former Mississippi State quarterback Jalen Maiden at the helm, it's going to be even more trouble, I think. After a 7-6 season and a loss to Middle Tennessee on Christmas Eve in the Hawaii Bowl, I don't expect the Aggies to turn it all around so quickly offensively. While I like Ohio in the 2.5, I really like Ohio on the money line at plus 120. And with all that, I like the under even more, as San Diego State's defense will keep Ohio State's offense at bay, and I expect the Aggies' offense to settle for field goals. So give me Ohio on the money line, plus 120 and under 49 for 2 plays on this one game. 7:30 Eastern Time. Hawaii is going to be here in Music City, about 10 minutes up the road, to take on Vanderbilt at First Bank Stadium, and Vandy's listed as a 17-point favorite. In last season's Week 0 opener, the Commodores pounded the Rainbow Warriors 63-10. Neither team was good last year and shouldn't be this year. Hawaii legend Timmy Chang's first year as head coach didn't go so well in Honolulu, as they struggled to a 3-win season, while Vanderbilt finished 5-7 in the rough and tumble SEC. Vandy's awful, let's face it. And so is Hawaii. They're not any better. I'm always weary of taking a small conference against an SEC team, but I think with another year of running Timmy Chang's run-and-shoot offense and 9 returning starters on defense, I see Vandy winning easily but not covering, so give me the Rainbow Warriors and the 17 points as a road dog. At 8 p.m. Eastern, San Jose State heads south about 5 hours to La La Land to take on 6th-ranked USC. The Trojans are a massive 30.5-point chalk and the Pac-12 favorites. San Jose State stumbled down the stretch last season to a 7-5 record and a loss in the Idaho Potato Bowl. 7th-year head coach Brent Brennan believes his Spartans can compete in the Mountain West this season with a lot of returning starters, no matter how mismatched they are here. USC has eyes on the college football playoff under head coach Lincoln Riley and reigning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams, who will probably be going number 1 in next spring's NFL draft. I mean, let's face it, unless he gets hurt, he's going number 1. The offense is daunting for USC and should have no problem hanging 40 on San Jose State. But the Trojan defense struggled all season last year and shouldn't be much better this year because Lincoln Riley's not really known for his defense. Call me crazy, but I'm going to take another road dog here in the mausoleum of La La Land and roll with the Spartans and all them points. In the last game of the evening at 9 o'clock Eastern, Florida International heads to Joe Aylet Stadium in Ruston to take on Louisiana Tech in the Bayou. 11-point home favorite Bulldogs went 3-9 last year in head coach Sonny Coombe's first season at the helm. The well-traveled quarterback Hank Bachmeier, yep, the God, man, I tell you, that transfer portal. He's back. Now he leads Louisiana Tech's offense at his third school, and this offense should be a lot better this year as wideout Smoke Davis, one of the best names in college football, returns as Bachmeier's top target to go along with Ole Miss transfer Trey Harris, who can go get it. FIU's offense was average last year, and after dropping their last 4 games, they look to be a lot better this year, though I don't see where. Offensively, the Panthers have their own other set of issues with an unproven quarterback in Grayson Mays, who is average at best. With La Tech's weapons and FIU's defensive issues, I'm all over the Bulldogs here at home to get the win and the cover. So that's it. That's all you get. Week 1 of another season. The new season is now underway. NFL still not for another 2 weeks. Next week will be week 2 of college football when everybody goes, and then week 3 will be the first week of the NFL. But that's 7 plays right off the bat. And while we'll gladly take 4-3 to start, 5-2 just sounds so much better. Next week's video will most likely post on Wednesday night with a whole bevy of Thursday night matchups on the horizon next week. So make sure to share this video with your friends and spread the word that Stony is back and ain't taking no prisoners this year. Keep an eye out for next Wednesday's episode. Until then, make sure to remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch.